Hello everyone and welcome to Whisky Wednesday, but it will be a feature called Octomore October. I have kindly gained access to, these are the wrong way around, all three 15 series Octomores. We've got 0.1, 0.2, 0.3 and then something just to my left, which will be the fourth video in this series, which is particularly unusual and particularly fun. But today we'll be talking about Octomore. I don't think we've reviewed an Octomore since the 10-year-old Dialogos, which we probably would have done in excess of about 8 years ago. No, never 8 years ago. Maybe 6 or 7. We'll see if the camera will focus in on this. I'll try and be a bit slow with it. This is the Octomore 15.1. This is 59.1% alcohol. It is 108.2 ppm, and it is solely matured, well, matured in first fill bourbon casks and recharred bourbon barrels. Why haven't we reviewed Octomore in so long? I don't know. They're quite expensive now, so to be able to buy all three of these in 70cl to review for this channel would set me back about nearly £500, I think. The retail on this bottle is about 140. The 0.2 I think is about 155, and the 0.3 is essentially £200, so quite expensive. But we've got the privilege to try them, so that's good. Why wouldn't we do it? And here it is in the glass. Was looking at the official tasting notes on Octomore's website, or Bruichladdich website, and some interesting notes. They say this reminds them of winter sun, this colour. I don't know, I'd say it's more gold. But I'm just being pedantic. Let's smell, let's taste, let's see what's going on. Apologies if you hear snoring, the dog is asleep again. One of the things that's always struck me about any Octomore I've tried, and I've had the privilege of trying quite a few of them, they're always so much sweeter than you expect. Significantly sweeter, I would say. And with this one, it's a classic style. There are these huge banana notes coming through, and loads and loads of banana. Loads of different types of banana too. We've got like regular banana, overripe banana, kind of caramelized banana. There's even like a banana ice cream note to it. The smoke itself is coming across as a little sweet. It's almost barbecue glazed kind of ham and pork. Those sweet kind of barbecue sauces. In fact, yeah, barbecue sauce is not a bad way to describe it. Get some cooking spices on there. We've got paprika. There's like a little bit of cayenne. It's reminding me quite a lot of like really buttery, like fried sweet corn with like little spicy things all over it. There's something in there that's a little unusual. There's a sea saltiness to it, as you would expect. But there's also, again, this huge amount of sweetness, and it's almost coming across like vanilla ice cream. There's even a touch of something exotic in there. Maybe like a mango or an apricot or something. But yeah, overall quite sweet, and then the smoke, we are getting this barbecue sauce, sweet glazed meat, slightly covered spicy feel to it. But, you know, if you were to give me a glass of this, I'm not sure I'd say it was one of the peatiest whiskies ever made. Another point to make as well, this says 108.2 ppm, but that is the pre-distillation peat level. Brands like Torreveig and a few other, actually no, maybe just Torreveig right now. They're the only people really giving out post-ppm distillation. They're both important. I wouldn't say either is a crazy marketing tactic. They're both pretty usable, transparent pieces of information. But it would be nice to see the post-ppm. Still going to be quite high, don't get me wrong, but it would be nice to just know what it's like after it's been aged for all that time. Oh, age as well, got to mention. 5-year-old liquid. 5 years old. I'm going to taste it without and with water, just because of the strength of these things, but let's tuck in. The smokiness really comes alive on your palate. Octomore fans watching this, you'll know that. That is my first whiskey of the day, so it seems a little bit spicier than it should normally. But we're in that realm of savoury things, so the spice is quite immediate. We'll try it again just to make sure my palate's adjusted. It's full of these really nice peanut notes. And between the banana influence, the peanut influence, and it being first fill bourbon casks, that makes sense. There's a lot of similarity going on there. That cooked, glazed, barbecue-y kind of meat runs right down the middle of your tongue. There's a saltiness, there's still a pleasant sweetness. Although those ice cream, banana, vanilla aromas have kind of, they've disappeared. In comes some pretty powerful herbaceousness. There's things of like thyme, rosemary. So having a little sip and then we'll add some water. So the spiciness, not too problematic at all on the second sip. The sweetness does come back around when you've adjusted your palate. The banana thing is there a bit. But the lingering notes I'm getting, it's almost like, how do I describe it? It's almost like it's the flavour after you've tried something like balsamic vinegar or like balsamic glaze. There's this acrid, not necessarily in a bad way, because culinarily and flavour-wise it is all kind of working. But there is like an acrid, tart, very trebly type of flavour which is kicking around the back of my palate. I can only really possibly put that down to the actual phenol content of the whiskey. There's very trebly, earthy, almost like sage kind of notes. This doesn't happen with a lot of whiskies, but my tongue feels like it's been coated in something. There's almost like an oil, like a residue that this whiskey has left around all of my tongue, which is quite interesting. But let's add a little bit of water to it. Try and be, my pipette broke, so I'll try and be as exact with this as we can. Just a little dash. That should do. Let's mix all that together. Because I'm just intrigued with these. I don't really add water on a lot of reviews, but because we've got 3 Octomores and a very unusual bottle of Bruichladdich at the end, just wanting to know if anything different happens. So with water, the smell is pretty similar. It maybe seems a little smokier, but the banana thing is still like the dominant part of it. Actually, maybe that kind of sagey thing is popping a little bit more as well now. And then to taste. The amount of water I added wasn't exact, it was just like a dribble of water. That really calms that down. Almost neutralises all the fun parts of it, if I'm being honest. It's still smoky, it's still a little bit spicy. You're still getting that barbecue-y, glazed, salty thing. I suppose you could maybe call that umami, kind of umami flavour. But it's killed off all of the explosions of how these flavours kind of come into your palate. So yeah, we'll be adding water to all of them. But yeah, not the funnest thing with water. Don't put water in it, folks. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Score-wise, I do think that is a very interesting style of whiskey. £140 is a lot of money, but if you really, really like Octomore, I suppose for the last couple of years that's been the run-of-the-mill for you. Score-wise, I'm going to give that an 8.5. I think that's a really tasty product. It's kind of reminding me how much I do actually enjoy Octomore. Although I will say it's not a whiskey for every occasion, for sure. But yes, that is Octomore 15.1. That gets an 8.5 out of 10. And I'll see you all next week for Octomore 15.2. Thank you.